If you're someone who loves to create original characters, chances are that you have heard of the game Gacha Life. It is a mobile dress-up game by Luname where you can create your own characters in a chibi art style and create stories using the studio feature. This allowed for people to start posting their own mini-movies and creating animations, which popularized the app, leading to the emergence of the Gacha community. Over the years, several games were launched into the series, notably Gacha Club and Gacha Life 2. Since Luname discontinued updates for Gacha Club, many people started to make their own mods of it, such as Gacha Nebula and Gacha Plus. Fun fact, the PNG tuber that you're seeing on screen right now is made from Gacha Nebula. From all of these mods, there was one called Gacha Designer, created by Beowulf, that eventually changed from being a planned mod to a full-fledged game known as ChibiMation. According to their website, it is the largest 2D character creator with over 15,000 assets, 10,000 poses, and unlimited customization. It seems like a really ambitious game, and you can even donate to it to gain access to the beta. So of course I did that, and where's the game? Turns out, ChibiMation doesn't have a beta yet. I don't even know if there's an alpha version of it. Through checking their update channel on their Discord, the planned beta release was supposed to be in December 2023. Then it got changed to February 2024. And then pushed to April 2024. That month goes by, no beta release. And then in October 2024, they let go of their original developer Femlaw Studios due to misconduct, which I briefly went over on a stream a couple of months ago. They were able to recruit a new developer known as Dare in November 2024, but then they let him go due to poor communication and low effort back in April of this year. In response to this, the ChibiMation team started work on a new Roblox game called Chibbeh High. Let's watch it.
ChibiMation is coming to Roblox. And yes, we're starting with a whole dang school. Welcome to Chibbeh High. Dress your character up with literally over 5,000 accessories. New stuff added all the time. In the alpha, you'll get dorms, an ice cream shop to work in, 8 classes to attend or dramatically skip, and a tree so big you can probably see it from space. Chibbeh High is cute, chaotic, and very much just getting started. Follow for updates, sneak peeks, and extremely important polls about roof colors and ice cream flavors.
Its purpose is to fundraise money for a new developer and give people something to play with before ChibiMation comes out. They also intended to release Chibbeh High in June 2025. Here's the announcement.
When is Chibbeh High coming out? AKA the question we've been asked 83 times this week. Well, I'm glad you've asked it. Again. We're launching June 2025, and here's the plan. Alpha is for the asset uploaders to test the water, make sure nothing sets on fire. Beta is for the Kofi supporters to help break things, and full release is for public launch for everyone on the internet who has taste. No, it's not delayed. Yes, we're actually finishing it. Follow for updates, outfit sneak peeks, and the occasional meltdown in sparkly text.
At the time I'm recording this video, it's August 2025, and there's still no game. Obviously, I have a lot of issues with the management of ChibiMation. First up, how they update their audience on progress. Why is it that the beta release date kept getting pushed back for months until Femlol was kicked off the team? Beowulf claimed at first that Femlol only finished less than 20% of the game, and further clarified in a response document to him that it was around 10% or less. They specifically claim he only finished the title screen, home menu, and settings, while the import assets page needed to be redone. If that were true, why were there still dates of a beta release? As the director of the game, shouldn't it be your responsibility to ensure that your developer is making substantial progress on the code and meeting deadlines? If in 3 years he only finishes less than 10% of the game's code, that would reveal that he's inefficient in coding and you're ineffective in managing. How is that acceptable? People donated thousands of dollars for this game's development, and yet you couldn't ensure that the game was actually being made. It doesn't only reflect poorly on the developer you chose, it also reflects poorly on you. Oh, and don't use the excuse that you were on hiatus. It's your responsibility to appoint someone who will be in charge while you're gone. If they don't do their job, guess what? The blame is on you for not ensuring that they were reporting back. As the creator and director of both ChibiMation and Chibbeh High, you shoulder all the responsibility because your employees and volunteers are following your directions. Anyways, as mentioned earlier, Beowulf and the ChibiMation team announced that their Roblox spinoff will come out in June 2025. Yet it didn't. Was there any mention of delays or an updated release date? No, they didn't update people on their updates or game spoilers channel. The only information I was able to find about the release date was on their FAQ Google Doc that states, "We expect the first version of the game to release sometime this year. Our initial builder, someone making the scenes/areas in Chibbeh High, had to be replaced with a new builder." A vague estimate is all they have right now. I know that they are still working on the Roblox game since they posted weekly updates for the game. Though it was 5 weekly updates, then a month passed until they posted another update where they stated that they changed the builders. Similar to my point about the lack of coding progress, I have to ask, are there no internal deadlines being followed? Shouldn't there be a timeline stating which aspects of the game should be finished during what month? I believe that an indie game that has received more than $10,000 should have something as simple as that. For ChibiMation, the work that was recently finished was their 15,000 plus assets, which is commendable. However, I do have a problem with it. It has nothing to do with the quality because their assets are gorgeous and creative. It's how they'll be implemented into the game. I'm not a game developer, but I question this aspect because they state that all these assets will be available in the game and you can have unlimited layers. I question if this is really feasible because we haven't seen the system itself in action. Beowulf posted a video that showed the implement assets page, so that does not count as the actual character creator. How do we know that they were able to make a system that can support these features? Not to mention the bug testing of thousands of assets. I wouldn't have an issue with this if you already have a functional base game. When you make big promises like the largest 2D character creator, you need to be 100% sure that you can fulfill that, especially with thousands of dollars being invested into the game. Finally, my biggest issue is with the entire concept of Chibbeh High. Beowulf, you don't even have a working beta for your main game ChibiMation yet. You start working on another game. A game that was said to be released in June of this year but didn't. It was supposed to have weekly updates, but that stopped after the 5th update. Then we find out that the lack of progress was due to the last builder taking too long. Again, I have to emphasize, why is this a recurring problem? Why are people not doing their jobs? A consistent problem with both games' development. Let me give you guys a simple example that you can all relate to so that I can illustrate my point. You're in high school, and you are the leader of a final project worth 30% of your grade. You give tasks to each member of the group and set an internal deadline before the actual deadline to ensure that everyone's work is of quality and you pass it on time. By the day of your set deadline, you notice that someone didn't do their work. Do you A. Wait until the actual deadline hoping that they will finish their work, or B. Find someone else who will do the work? You need to work with people who will honor their word and provide quality work on time. If you allow people to slack off on deadlines, it brings the whole project down. I also have to wonder, why make a Roblox game out of all things to pay for a developer? There's no guarantee that Chibbeh High will be popular enough to generate the amount of money needed to hire a team. You're going up against Gacha Online and Gacha RP, both of which already have a dedicated audience. What does Chibbeh High have going for it that will entice players to make the switch? I paid for the supporter role a year ago on a different account to try ChibiMation's beta. This role allowed me to gain access and try Chibbeh High's beta. While I cannot show footage of this for legal reasons, I can testify that this walkway shown in the trailers is the only playable area. It has been that way since the beta was released. They have most of the assets imported, but you can only change its order. You can't change the color of the assets or the skin tone. If you're doing work on the playable areas, surely you can add that to the beta. I feel like with the way progress is going right now, you should just stick to Gacha Online and Gacha RP. I'm thinking about it, and you received more than $10,000 in Kofi. Where's that money going? Let's pull up the page. We have 60% for new tech/apps for artists, 23% for staff raffles, and 17% for server manager pay. Why do you need to use your Kofi donations to pay your Discord server manager? Isn't that a voluntary role? I'm not opposed to paying your Discord moderators, especially when they are managing a server with thousands of members. However, you need to prioritize what people are paying for, which is finishing the game. You shouldn't be paying them using the Kofi donations. I would advocate for paying them using your own pocket. The Kofi should be dedicated to fund the artists working on the game assets and the coders who will be developing the code that allows the game to function. What do you mean 23% is for staff raffles? Is compensation for your team purely luck-based? The description doesn't elaborate on what that specifically is. It's a red flag for me because your supporters deserve to know how exactly their money is being spent for the development of ChibiMation. If you have to make an entirely separate game, devote time and resources to that in order to fund money for a developer, what was the point of donating to the Kofi? Does it even have to be a Roblox game? Wouldn't it be more effective to make YouTube videos on your channel that has 837,000 subscribers? You can make a video series expanding on the lore of ChibiMation. After all, you have a ton of mascots who live in the world of the game. I'm not expecting a fully animated series like The Music Freaks. I would expect something that's styled like those comic dubs. With this idea, it would be easier to make and thus faster to put out, which your audience can consume. They can start to build more connections to the characters that they will eventually see in the game. You can state that the monetization from these videos will help fund the development team. That incentivizes your supporters and followers to constantly watch these videos. It would be faster to earn the money that you need over a Roblox game which needs double the time and effort but with less guarantee for money. I genuinely want ChibiMation to come out. I've been looking forward to it ever since I heard about it. I can see the creativity and effort that is being put into this game. It frustrates me that it is being wasted because there's an inherent mismanagement problem with it. If you cannot solve your issues on leadership, then it's going to follow you in every new project you work on. Anyways, I'll wait and see if Chibbeh High actually comes out for public release. If it does, I'll probably make a video reviewing it. But until next time, I'm Arsen, and I hope you have a nice day.